I never made a scene leaving. Not once. I always find the graceful way out. I'm starting to wonder what that's cost me. I've gotten good at the beautiful goodbye, the right amount of closure, no loose ends, the kind of leaving that looks like a decision, not like something breaking at the seams. I pick the timing, pick the lighting, pick the language, make sure no one in the room feels too much blame. Walk out with my chin up and my story straight, and cry in the car when no one sees my face. Every ending I have written has been careful. Every door I've closed has been closed clean. I'm the woman who departs without a scene made, who leaves you with the best of what she means. But all these graceful exits have a pattern. All these pretty goodbyes have a price. I've spent so long perfecting how I leave things, I never stopped to ask if I should try. All the pretty exits I've practiced, all the beautiful ways I've learned to go, every elegant departure, every dignified disaster, all the pretty exits in a row. I leave before it gets too hard to handle. I leave before the love outweighs the doubt. All the pretty exits. I wonder what I'm missing on the way out. There was one that should have been a conversation that I turned into a letter, sealed and sent. There was one that should have been me asking for more time, that I dressed up as something different than I meant. There was one where I could feel myself still wanting, but the wanting made me feel too close to need. And even felt like standing in an open space with nothing but the other person left to hold me. So I wrote the exit and I walked the exit, told myself that this was strength and not retreat. But strength and running share the same posture sometimes, and I've been calling the same thing by different names for years. And everyone remembers me as measured. They say she always knew exactly when to go, but measured is a word for something managed, and managed means I was afraid to let it show. All the pretty exits I have practiced, all the beautiful ways I've learned to go, every elegant departure, every dignified disaster, all the pretty exits in a row. I leave before it gets too hard to handle. I leave before the love outweighs the doubt. All the pretty exits. I wonder what I'm missing on the way out. What if I stayed past the comfortable moment? What if I let the awkward live a little longer? What if I said I'm not ready and meant it? What if I let someone watch me getting weaker? What if the mess of it was worth the staying? What if the thing that scared me was the point? What if every pretty exit was a detour around the only thing I actually want? I have left so many rooms with my dignity, and sat alone with it in cars, and wondered whether dignity is just the name I give the habit of leaving before I can be the one left under. I am so tired of the beautiful goodbye. I want to stay just once. I want to stay and see what's on the other side. All the pretty exits I wasted, all the beautiful ways I ran from good, every elegant departure left me graceful and empty, standing where I said I never would. I don't want to leave before it gets too real now. I don't want to go before the doubt runs out. No more pretty exits. I want to find out what I'm missing. I'm staying this time. I'm not going out. All the pretty exits. What if I stay? Stayed. telling people I'm fine, and the gap between saying it and meaning it is getting smaller. I think I went a whole Tuesday without thinking of you, which is 4 days less than the week before. I made it through the playlist without skipping anything, only rewound one song, maybe 2, maybe 4. I drove past the place without turning my head. Well, I turned it a little, but kept the car straight. I deleted the photos, then restored them, then deleted, then left my phone face down and called that making progress. I told my friend I was better and I meant it, approximately in the daylight in the general sense. I've been doing all the things that look like moving forward and only losing ground in the present tense. And I know what healing looks like, I've done it before. I know it comes in increments and doesn't keep a score, but there's a particular kind of almost healed that feels suspiciously like still hurting, with better posture than before. Almost doesn't ache, almost doesn't keep me up the way it used to. Almost doesn't ache, almost feels like something close to through. I'm almost at the other side of missing you completely, almost at the point where your name doesn't land. Almost doesn't ache, and almost is the most convincing liar I have ever let hold my hand. I redecorated, moved the furniture around, put something new where your absence used to sit. Bought a plant because a plant means I'm investing in a future that requires tending to it. I started saying yes to things I would've skipped before, showed up to the dinner, stayed until the end. I even laughed, not the kind I manufacture, the kind that starts somewhere real and then extends. And every one of these things is genuine. I'm not performing wellness for a crowd. I am actually incrementally improving, and also still not over you out loud. Because almost is a room I've been repainting, and underneath the fresh coat is the same wall. And I can love the color of the new paint and still know what's underneath it after all. And I don't say this to undo the almost is real, the almost is earned. I just think almost and finished aren't the same address, and I keep mailing things to finish that just still go to almost until they're returned. Almost doesn't ache, almost doesn't keep me up the way it used to. Almost doesn't ache, almost feels like something close to through. I'm almost at the other side, I'm missing you completely, where your name doesn't land. Almost doesn't ache, and almost is the most convincing liar I have ever let hold my hand. Here is the thing about almost. It is not nothing. Almost is enormous. Almost is months of work and mornings chosen differently, and meals eaten alone that got easier, and songs reclaimed one at a time. Almost is real, almost is progress, almost is the bravest thing some days, but almost is not done. And the kindest thing I can do for the almost is stop calling it finished, because the day it actually doesn't ache will not feel like almost. It will feel like a Tuesday where I didn't notice. And I haven't had that Tuesday yet. I have had near Tuesdays. I have had Tuesdays that almost counted, but not that Tuesday. Not yet, not yet. And that is okay. That is completely okay. Almost doesn't ache, and I'm going to let almost be enough for now. Almost doesn't ache, and I'm gonna stop demanding goals, take a bow. I'm somewhere on the other side of something real and heavy, somewhere I couldn't see from where I used to stand. Almost doesn't ache, and almost is not lying. Almost is the truest place I've ever been. Almost is where I'm gonna let it stand. Almost doesn't ache. Almost doesn't ache. Almost doesn't ache. Almost, not yet, but almost. Almost doesn't. Almost doesn't. Gravity isn't something you decide. It's just the consequence of being close enough to something with that much pull. I keep forgetting that. I didn't fall for you on purpose. There was no intention in the leaning. I was standing in my own life, minding my own orbit, and then you passed through it. And something shifted in the physics, something recalculated in the tilt. Like the room rearranged its furniture around you, and I had to relearn where everything was built. I noticed things I never used to notice. The way a conversation changes when you're in it. How the air pressure drops a little when you leave and rises when you come back in the minute. I am not imagining this, I have checked. This is not wishful thinking, this is physics. And I have been so careful with my gravity, so deliberate about what I let pull me where. But you walked in without asking for permission, and now I'm tilted and I cannot find the square. Borrowed gravity, I'm living in yours when I can't find my own. Borrowed gravity, the pull of you has made me question what I've known. I didn't choose this orbit, didn't plan the falling, didn't ask to be rearranged this way. Borrowed gravity has got me closer to your center every day. Every single day. There is a danger in a pull this particular, because you get so used to leaning toward one light, that when the light moves, shifts, or simply isn't pointed at you, you lose your sense of morning, noon, and night. I have watched myself adjust to your direction, calibrating what I want against your atmosphere. And I'm not sure where my own north was before you, or whether I had one this clear. The terrifying thing about borrowed gravity is that it works in both directions equally. You may be bending space around you just by being, and have no idea what that does to me. Which means I'm orbiting a sun that doesn't know it's shining. That's the loneliest astronomy and the most sublime. And I've been trying to reclaim my own trajectory, trying to pull my center back from yours. But every time I get some distance on the feeling, something moves and I'm drifting back toward yours. Borrowed gravity, I'm living in yours when I can't find my own. Borrowed gravity, the pull of you has made me question what I've known. I didn't choose this orbit, didn't plan the falling, didn't ask to be rearranged this way. Borrowed gravity has got me closer to your center every day. Every single day. I wanna say it doesn't scare me. It does. I wanna say I've been here before, I haven't. Not quite like this. Not this particular arrangement of the stars and the silence, and the way the room feels when you're in it. Because all the other times I fell, I was falling towards something I wanted. This time I'm not even sure falling is the word. This feels more like being drawn into the atmosphere of something larger than a want. something I don't have a clean name for yet. I've been calling it inconvenient. I've been calling it too soon. I've been calling it a lot of sensible things that all mean the same thing. That you change the physics of the room, and I don't know how to unknow that. I don't know how to stand flat in a space that now bends toward you. So I'm just in it, orbiting. Borrowed gravity. I'm done pretending I can find my own borrowed gravity. I've been rearranged down to the bone. I didn't choose this orbit, but I'm choosing not to leave it, even though I know the risk of staying in your pool. Borrowed gravity. Maybe borrowed turns to something. Maybe orbiting turns into something whole. Maybe borrowed gravity becomes the only gravity I know. Borrowed, cold, rearranged, orbiting something I didn't choose and can't leave. Borrowed gravity. There is a particular kind of healing that only heat can reach. The kind that gets down into the parts words never quite touch. Yeah. Therapy. Brown skin, warm, gone. Therapy. Bronze skin therapy. I packed the lightest bag I've ever packed, left the heavy conversations on the floor. Drove until the city turned to coastline, and the coastline told me I didn't need more. Laid myself out flat beneath the open sky, let the sun do what the talking couldn't do. There's a medicine and warmth that has no language, just the slow work of the light coming through. My skin remembers things before my mind does, the way that warmth reminds a body it's alive. How the heat sits in your shoulders like permission to stop bracing and just let yourself arrive. So I gave it all the afternoon, every complicated, unresolved, half-healed thing, and let the bronze do what the bronze does, turn the damage into something worth seeing. Brown skin therapy, sun doing what the words couldn't reach. Brown skin therapy, heat getting into the places underneath. I came here hollow, came here halfway gone, left the noise behind, just let the warmth come on. Brown skin therapy, the oldest kind of healing that there is. Brown skin therapy, just the sun, the salt, the skin, and all of this. The water doesn't ask me how I'm doing, the shore doesn't need me to be doing fine. I floated on my back until the thinking finally got tired and fell behind. There is a version of myself that only surfaces in summer, slower, less defended, more at ease. She's been waiting underneath the layers of the colder months, patient as the tide. She always comes back with the breeze. I touch my own skin like I was reintroducing, like hello, I have not been kind to you. I have rushed you, I have hidden you, I've apologized for you. Today I'm letting the sun remind me what you're worth. And the bronze came slow and even, like a truth you didn't know you needed yet, darkening the parts I used to cover, warming everything I learned to forget. Bronze skin therapy, sun doing what and just let the warmth come on. Bronze skin therapy, the oldest kind of healing that there is. Bronze skin therapy, just the sun, the salt, the skin, and all of this. I'll tell you, healing happens in the talking, in the rooms with the chairs and the careful language. Or maybe that is true, it's been true for me. But there is also this particular afternoon in late July, this particular angle of the light across my arms, this particular salt water and silence, this particular body learning to be warm. I have cried in offices and earned it, have done the work in every form the work comes in. But some days healing doesn't look like anything except a woman lying in the sun, letting herself be touched by something gentle, letting herself be seen by no one at all, letting the bronze come slow across her shoulders, like a hand that doesn't need to be called. Just warm, just here, just mine, just this. Bronze skin therapy. The sun found everything the words had missed. Bronze skin therapy. I let it, and this is what heals feels like. I came here hollow, left with something whole, not fixed, not finished, just more myself than before. Bronze skin therapy, the oldest, softest medicine there is. Bronze skin therapy, just the sun, the salt, the skin, just living in my skin. Just this, just this, just this, just this, just this. Bronze and warm, bronze and warm. The sun knew what to do, the sun always knows. Just the skin, just the light, just the slow work of being alive in it. Therapy. Bronze skin, warm, gone. Table for one, please. Actually, make that a booth. I've been waiting on this reservation a long, long time. Cleaned out every drawer you ever touched, opened up the windows, let the good air rush, put fresh flowers on the table that we never used, finally eaten off the plates I never could. Made a reservation at that place you call too fancy, ordered everything I want without a second thought. Turns out I like myself much better in the absence of somebody who kept telling me I should not. I've been so long making room for your discomfort, shrinking at the edges just to keep the peace. But the woman in the mirror poured herself a glass tonight, and honey, she looks like relief. Champagne for one, toast to me. Best decision I have made in years was letting you leave. Champagne for one, table mine. I've been saving up this feeling for a long, long time. No more waiting for permission, no more having what I need. Champagne for one, and I like it. Champagne for one, and I mean it. Champagne just for me. Bought a dress that's way too much for nowhere special. Wore it to the grocery store on a Tuesday afternoon. Called my people, stayed on the phone for hours, laughing at the things we couldn't say in that room. Slept diagonal across the whole bed, watched everything I wanted without asking twice. Found out who I am when no one's in the way of me, and turns out I was worth the asking price. I don't miss the version of me that needed your approval. Don't miss the math of always never really home until I was alone. Champagne for one. Toast to me. Every lesson that you taught me cost, but now I'm free. Champagne for one. Room to breathe. I was always worth more than what you were willing to believe. No more waiting for permission. No more having what I need. Champagne for one, and I love it. Champagne for one. Can't get enough of it. Champagne, finally, just for me. Toast to you, no, toast to me. Toast to every woman at a table, eating free. Pour it up, nobody to check with, nobody to rush. Table for one, room for everything. Table for one, for everything. Cheers, cheers to me, long overdue. Champagne, champagne, just for me. Nowhere to be, nobody waiting, nobody's opinion required. Let's go. Let's go. Put on the dress, this way too much for Tuesday. Did my hair like I was going somewhere grand. Wore the earrings that I've been saving for an occasion. Decided I'm the occasion. There it stands. Lit a candle, put the good playlist on loud. Cooked a meal that only I was there to taste. Set the table like a woman who deserves the table. Not a woman eating standing up in haste. Used to think that getting dressed was for the seeing. Used to need a room, a reason, and a crowd. Turns out the best reason I have ever put on earrings is standing in the mirror saying I'm loud. No camera, no occasion, no permission slip required. Just me and all this effort and a room that I admire. And I don't need a witness to confirm what I already know, that this woman in this mirror has got somewhere to go. Dressed up for nobody, heels on for no one but me. Table set for one, and it's a beautiful scene. Dressed up for nobody, flowers in a vase just because. Turn the music up and danced in my own applause. Nobody to impress, nobody to see. Dressed up for nobody, and that nobody is me. I used to wait for someone to make the moment special. Used to save the good perfume for when it mattered more. Used to think that all the effort needed an audience, and quiet livers in it every ordinary floor. But ordinary floors are where the living actually happens, and I've been walking in the shoes I didn't love. So I opened up the closet, opened up the good stuff, and decided every evening's good enough. You wanna know what I figured out? The candles smell the same whether someone else is here or not. The food tastes just as good, the music hits just as hard, the dress looks just as right. The only thing that changed is I stopped waiting on someone else to start the night. No audience required to make the evening real. No validation needed for the things I already feel. I am the guest of honor, I am the host, I am the show. And this woman in this mirror's already got the glow. Dressed up for nobody, heels on for no one but me. Table set for one, and it's a beautiful scene. Dressed up for nobody, flowers in a vase just because. Turn the music up and danced in my own applause. Nobody to impress, nobody to see. Dressed up for nobody, and that nobody is me. Here's what nobody tells you about being alone. Sometimes it's the fullest you have ever felt, when the quiet stops being something you are feeling and starts being something that you built. I have been in rooms of people feeling invisible, been in company and felt profoundly on my own. But standing here in Nathan's on a random Tuesday evening, I have never felt less alone, because I showed up for my completely. Every detail, every candle, every song. And I think that might be what they mean by self-love. Not the word, but the specific all along. Just this. A Tuesday, a dress, a table, a woman who finally showed up for herself. Dressed up for nobody, heels on and I'm finally free. Table set for one, and honey, that's a luxury. Dressed up for nobody, flowers cause I said so, just because. Turned it up and danced and gave myself a standing ovation. Nobody to impress, and I'm the hardest one to please. Dressed up for nobody, and that nobody is gloriously, completely, entirely me. For nobody, for me, just me. Pour the glass, light the candle, put the dress on the handle. Nobody's watching, that's the point, that's the whole beautiful point. Dressed up, showed up for me, for absolutely nobody, and absolutely me. I know your coffee order, I don't know your middle name, and somehow that's the most honest thing I've got. You show up when the timing is convenient, leave before the morning needs explaining. We've built this thing with no walls and no ceiling, just enough roof to keep us from the raining. I know the sound you make when something moves you, know which side of the bed you always choose, know how your silence has about 3 different meanings, but your history is something I can't use. We talk about the world like we're reporters, never about the thing that sits between us. And I've gotten so fluent in this distance, I almost forgot I wanted to be seen. And maybe that's on me for letting easy be enough. Maybe I got comfortable in almost being loved, but I catch myself wondering in the in-between, what we'd be if one of us said what we mean. You're my favorite stranger, close enough to feel too far to hold my favorite stranger, the most familiar unknown. I know we speak in all the languages of almost, and I've learned every word. You're my favorite stranger, and that's the most beautiful thing that I've never deserved. We have a language made entirely of gestures, a look across the room that says enough, a hand that finds my back in crowded spaces, then disappears before it turns to touch. You've seen me in the versions I don't publish, the tired one, the one that second guesses, and you never made me feel like that was too much, just held it like a thing that no one mentioned. So I keep coming back to this arrangement, this beautiful impossible design, where I know you like a map with no directions, and call it mine without it being mine. And I know I should want more than what this is. I know a half-open door is still closed, but the warmth inside this particular halfway is the closest thing to home that no one knows. You're my favorite stranger, close enough to feel too far to hold my favorite stranger, the most familiar unknown. I know we speak in all the languages of almost, and I've learned every word. You're my favorite stranger, and that's the most beautiful thing that I've never deserved. I've thought about whole thing flat on the table between us, watching your face to see if it holds or breaks, seeing if the knowing ruins what the not knowing keeps. Because there's a version of this where we find out we were building towards something real all along, and a version where the saying makes it smaller, and I lose even the almost I've been living on. So I sit with it, this exquisite aching in between my favorite stranger, the realest thing I have that can't be seen. You're my favorite stranger, close enough to wound, too known to leave. My favorite stranger, the story I keep writing but won't read. We speak in all the languages of almost, like it's all we were made for. You're my favorite stranger, and I think I'll keep you right here, just inside the door. Almost is its own kind of love. Almost is its own kind of love. Favorite stranger, my favorite. I know your coffee order, still don't know your middle name. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. You know what fire season means? It means the conditions are already there. The dry ground, the low humidity, the years of accumulated fuel. It doesn't need much, just one spark, and the whole thing goes. I know what this is, I've read the weather, I know the conditions that I'm standing in. I've been here before in different bodies, different names, same drought underneath my skin. I know how fast this kind of thing spreads. I know the speed between a spark and everything on fire. I know that what I'm feeling isn't just a feeling, it's a season built for burning higher. And still I'm standing here without a jacket, still I'm watching the horizon like a fool. Still I'm cataloging every small sensation, like the temperature rising is a feature, not a flaw. Cause something in this heat feels like a homecoming, like the part of me who's waiting for this weather, like the dormant and the dried out parts of living finally feel like they might come together. And I know the fire doesn't ask permission, I know the burn doesn't care what it consumes, but I've been careful for so long, my edges are like tinder. There's a thing that happens in the real fire season, where the old growth has to go to let new things begin. All the dead wood that's been stacking up for decades needs the burning to release what's locked within. I think about the careful life I've been constructing, all the fire breaks I built around my heart, all the plans and the precautions and the measured living, all the ways I kept the wildness from the start. And I wonder if the caution became the problem, if the managed life became a managed cage, if I've been so busy keeping things from burning that I forgot what it felt like to be a blaze. Because I don't wanna be a forest that never catches, don't wanna be the controlled burn, small in need. I wanna be the thing that takes the whole hillside with it. I wanna be the heat. And yes, it's dangerous, I'm not pretending, and yes, the aftermath will last tell you what the careful life cost. Let me tell you what the managed heart missed. Let me tell you what it's like to always know the weather and never once just step outside in it. I miss the downpours, miss the thunder, miss the kind of feeling that rewires you. Miss the reckless and the riotous and ruinous. Miss the version of myself that burns right through. But the thing about a fire season, every year it comes back around. In the dry ground, in the heat, when the conditions are all right here, right now. This time, I'm not looking for a way out. This time, I'm the spark, 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 I'm the spark. Fire season feelings. And I finally let the whole thing catch and climb. Fire season feelings. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. I was drowning dry ground, waiting on this moment. I was dormant and I didn't even know. Fire season feelings. Burning through the woman who was always so careful. Watch her go, watch her go, watch her go. Fire season feelings. I'm not standing back from the heat this time. Fire season feelings. I'm the fire, I'm the fire. I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive. Fire season. Fire season. Everything changes after this. The old growth gone, the new things coming. The ground still warm. Fire season feelings. I was the spark. I was the spark. Fire season. You know what's funny about gold? It's the same color as a warning, and we still reach for it every single time. You smile like every room was built around you, and rooms believed it, I believed it too. Walked in wearing all that easy confidence, like charm was currency and you were overdue. Flashing surface light on every angle, you knew exactly how to catch the eye. But catching someone's eye and holding someone's heart are two completely different kinds of shine. I fell in love with the performance first, the laugh, the look, the way you worked a crowd. Took me too long to understand the difference between someone brilliant and someone just loud. And I dressed it up in roses, called it passionate, called it fire. But passion without something underneath it is just smoke dressed up as desire. Gold teeth and goodbyes, all flash, all shine, all beautiful lies. You glittered in the dark like you were made alive. But gold teeth don't mean the bite, don't sting at night. Gold teeth and goodbyes, I love to shine, but I paid the price. Turns out everything that glitters in the dark still leaves a mark. Gold teeth and goodbyes. The stories that you told were always better, every version polished to a gleam. And I kept quiet when the details didn't line up, because the story was too good to intervene. You loved the version of me watching you need the spectacle, and I played my part, applause, attention, audience, until the role became unpractical. There were mornings when the door would lose its color, when the room was empty and the shine wore thin. And I'd watch you work to get it back by evening, like brightness was a costume, not a skin. And I kept making excuses for the hollow, kept telling myself death was on its way. But some people are built entirely surface, and waiting for the layers is the game. Gold teeth and goodbyes, all flash, all shine, all beautiful lies. You glittered in the dark like you were made alive. But gold teeth don't mean the bite, don't tell you about glamour. It gets inside you like a second voice. And long after the person who wore it leaves, you're still confusing glitter for a choice. I kept chasing that particular feeling, that electric chosen lit up in your gate. Couldn't see that what I mistook for love was just the hunger of someone who needed to be praised. And I'm not angry now, I got past anger. Anger was a room I had to leave. What I carry is a quieter kind of knowing that I deserve a love that doesn't need to perform to make me believe. I deserve the real thing. I deserve the real thing. All alone. Gold teeth and goodbye. I see the difference now between dark and light. You glittered in the dark 'cause you needed the dark. Real gold doesn't need the night to make it more. Gold teeth and goodbye. I paid the price, but I kept my life, and everything that glittered in the dark left a mark. But marks become scars, and scars mean I survived. Gold teeth and goodbyes. Oh, that glitters. Oh, that glitters. Oh, that glitters. Oh, that glitters. Didn't mean it was gold. Didn't mean it was gold. I know better now. I know better now. Gold teeth, goodbye. Goodbye. Sweet and it stings. Sweet and it stings. You leave the sweetest notes on my nightstand, but use the same breath to make me feel less than. I know your hands, I know the way they hold me. Then let me go like it cost you nothing. There's a warmth in your voice when you need something, a chill in your eyes when you're done with love. And I keep pouring myself into the spaces you leave behind when you change your mind. And I should know better, I've read this before, but here I am standing at the same door, like honey on a paper cut. Sweet at first, then it burns me up. You give just enough to make me stay, take just enough to take me away. I know it hurts, I know it should, but nothing wrong has ever felt this good. Like honey on a paper cut, still I'm licking every drop. I dress it up, call it complicated. Tell my girls it's just how love is weighted. But weight like this don't sit right on your shoulders, only gets heavier as you get older. You say you're trying, I say I believe you, and that's the part of me that I should free too. 'Cause trying without changing is just staying, and staying dressed up different is still pain. I keep saying this time, I keep meaning it too, but meaning it don't stop me running back to you. Like honey on a paper cut. Sweet at first, then it burns me up. You give just enough to make me stay, take just enough to take me away. I know it hurts, I know it should, but nothing wrong has ever felt this good. Like honey on a paper cut, still I'm licking every drop. Maybe I like to sing, maybe it proves I'm feeling something. Maybe I'm just afraid of nothing, afraid of clean and simple loving. Yeah, yeah. What do you do when the thing that breaks you is the only thing that still can make you feel like you're alive, feel like you matter, even when it leaves you in pieces, scattered like honey on a paper cut. I knew the cost, but I couldn't stop. You gave just enough to make me stay, took drop. Sweet and it stings, sweet and it stings. I know, still I stay, no more, honey. Everything in this house is beautiful. The linen, the light, the routine of it. The way we move around each other like we've choreographed every morning. I used to think that was love. I'm starting to think it's something else entirely. We have the softest sheets I've ever slept in, the kind that take 3 washes just to reach. We have a kitchen full of things we chose together, and a language full of things we'll never breach. You make the coffee at the same time every morning. I fold the clothes and put them in the right drawer. We have a rhythm so refined and so familiar that nobody looking in would want for more. And from the outside it's a life that looks like something, the kind of life that people post about and mean. But I've been lying in our perfectly made bed at night and wondering what's missing in between. We don't fight, and I used to think that was a virtue. You don't yell, and I call that being mature. But silence isn't always the sound of peace between 2 people. Sometimes silence is the sound of a locked door. Linen and lies, everything pressed and folded and arranged just right. Linen and lies, the most comfortable untruth I've lived inside. We built a home so beautiful it cost too much to leave. Linen and lies, soft enough to sleep and sharp enough to bleed. Linen and lies, I keep smoothing out the surface like the service is the thing. Linen and lies, the most elegant, slow disappearing. You are not cruel, I wanna say that clearly. There are no villains living in these walls. You are careful and considerate and consistent, and somehow that's the loneliest thing of all. Because I can't point at a wound and say you gave it, can't name a night that broke what we had built. It's more like something slowly going colorless, a beautiful painting losing all its tilt. We smile at dinner with the candles burning, we sleep beside each other every night. And somewhere in the architecture of our comfort, something that was living lost its light. I grieved it quietly for months before I named it. Called it tiredness, called it a bad year. But you can only call a thing by the wrong name for so long before the right name makes itself clear. And the right name isn't hatred, isn't anger, isn't even something broken I could fix. The right name is 2 people being decent to each other in the place where love is supposed to live. Linen and lies, everything pressed and folded and arranged just right. Linen and lies, the most comfortable untruth I've lived inside. We built a home so beautiful it cost too much to leave. Linen and lies, soft enough to sleep and sharp enough to bleed. Linen and lies, I keep smoothing out the surface like the surface is the thing. Linen and lies, the most elegant, slow disappearing. I think the hardest lies to leave aren't the ones built out of cruelty. They're the ones built out of care, out of 2 people trying very hard to be good to each other, inside of something that stopped being true. We never lied on purpose, we just kept making the bed, kept lighting the candles, kept choosing the comfortable word over the honest one, until the honest one couldn't find its way in anymore. And I'm so tired of how beautiful it looks in here. I am so tired of how much it costs to keep it looking like this. And I think you are too. I think we both know we've been sleeping in linen and calling it love for longer than either of us wants to say out loud. But one of us is gonna have to. I'm done smoothing out the surface like it helps. I'm done pretending that the beautiful is well. We built a home so careful that we forgot to build a life. Soft enough to sleep in, long enough to lose myself inside. Both deserve something real to come home to all along. The linen is still soft, the house is still beautiful, and I'm standing at the door with one bag and more clarity than I've had in years. Linen and lies, linen, linen, linen. I've been standing in this hallway for years, waiting on myself to come through the door. Everyone I love kept handing me a version that I almost recognized, but nothing more. My mother saw her younger self reflected. My first love saw the thing he needed most. And I kept trying on their shapes and silhouettes until I couldn't tell my edges from a ghost. So who's in here when no one's watching? Who am I when there's no one left to be for? What's the face I make in empty rooms? What's the voice I use when I'm not keeping score? I've been a mirror with no glass, showing everyone a surface, nothing bad, reflecting all the light they brought to me, but standing in the dark when they couldn't see. A mirror with no glass, no face of my own, just the shape of every person I have known. I gave them all a reflection, gave them all of you. Now I'm learning what it looks like to be true. I learned to read a room before I read myself. Learn which laugh lands, learn which silence keeps the peace. Became so fluent in what everyone around me needed that my own language went to sleep. There's a particular kind of loneliness in being loved for who you're pretending to be. Applause for a performance you can't stop giving because the real you hasn't had the stage to breathe. And I don't blame the ones who shaped me. They were working from their own unfinished pages, but I'm the one who has to live here. And I've been living in between their stages. I've been a mirror with no glass, showing everyone a surface, nothing bad, reflecting all the light they brought to me, but standing in the dark when they couldn't see. A mirror with no glass, no face of my own, just the shape of every person I have known. I gave them all a reflection, gave them all of you. Now I'm learning what it looks like to be true. I used to think identity was something you were given, like a name, like a face, like a role in someone else's story. But identity is something you have to go looking for, in the quiet, in the inconvenient truth of what you keep coming back to, when no one's asking anything of you. What do I like when I'm not being liked for it? What do I want when wanting isn't currency? What do I feel when the feeling isn't useful to anyone else? think I'm soft where I pretended to be armored. I think I'm loud where I learned to keep it small. I think I've been a mirror for so long, I forgot I had something worth showing. After all, no more mirror with no glass. I'm done giving everyone a service, holding back, done reflecting all the light and none the shine, done standing in the dark. This light is mine. A mirror with no glass. Can't love you back, can't hold you, can't be held, can't fill the lack. So I'm stepping out the frame, putting down the view, finally learning what it looks like to be new. This is my face, this is my voice, this is mine. Not a reflection, not a surface, just mine. I see me now, I see me now. After all this time, I finally see me now. Nobody waiting on me tonight, nobody tracking where I go, just the city and the lights and everything I already know. Heels on the pavement, 11:53. Window down, the city breathing on me. Playlist loud enough to drown the overthinking. Living in a moment I don't need to take a picture of. Every corner holds a story I'm not in yet. Every lit up window, somebody else's secret. I've been so long, somebody, something, somebody, someone. Tonight I'm just a woman moving through the dark. No one calling out my name tonight, no one needing anything from me. And instead of that feeling like an absence, it feels like the first time I've been free. Neon after midnight, city on my skin. This is where I end and where I start again. Neon after midnight, nobody to call, just the hum of something bigger than us all. I don't need saving, don't need to be found, I just needed somewhere I could put myself down. Neon after midnight, I am alive. Neon after midnight, finally mine. Late night diner, just me and the counter. Black coffee, tip too big, I never mind. The woman in the corner with the notebook and a chapter looks up at me and nods like she knows the kind. We are sisters in the art of disappearing into cities that don't ask for explanation. There's a whole world of us out after midnight, running from nothing, running towards sensation. No one marking where my edges are tonight, no one story pressing up against my own. And I thought I needed someone in the frame, but the frame looks kinda beautiful alone. Neon after midnight, city on my skin. This is where I end and where I start again. Neon after midnight, nobody to call, just the hum of something bigger than us all. I don't need saving, don't need to be found, I just needed somewhere I could put myself down. Neon after midnight, I am alive. Neon after midnight, finally mine. There's a loneliness that hollows you, and a loneliness that fills. One is absence of a person, one is presence of yourself. I spent so long confusing them, mistaking solitude for loss, chasing company to cover up the quiet I was scared to cross. But tonight the quiet isn't empty, it's a room I finally own. And the neon isn't cold and distant, it's the warmest I have known. This is mine. this hour, this air, this street, this silence. Mine. Nobody gave it to me. I just finally took it. Neon after midnight, neon after midnight. Neon after midnight. Neon after midnight. City on my skin. This is where I end and where I start again. Neon after midnight. Nobody to call. Just the hum of something bigger than a soul. I don't need saving, never need a found. I just needed somewhere I could lay this down. Neon after midnight. God, I'm alive. Neon after midnight. Finally mine. After midnight, after midnight. When the world goes still and I go wide. After midnight, after midnight. This is where I learn to live inside. Mine, oh mine, finally mine. The neon and the dark and everything between, oh mine. A pearl is made from an irritant. Something gets inside something tender. And the only response available is to slowly, carefully, beautifully cover it, layer by layer, until what was an intrusion becomes the most precious thing you carry. That's not a metaphor. That's just what happened to me. I have been the silk and I have been the static. I have been the honey and the paper cut. I have stood in mirrors with no glass to show me, and slowly learned to fill the frame back up. I have walked the city after midnight freely, poured the champagne at the table set for one. I have loved the stranger and the gold-teeth liar, and carried what I learned from everyone. Every single thing that got inside me, every irritant and aching impossible season. I was making something, I just couldn't see it from inside the making. Now I'm standing at the end of something, or the beginning. I can't tell them apart, but I'm holding every layer that I built here, and it looks like something luminous in mine. Pearls before the drop, everything I gave before I knew my worth. Pearls before the drop, every tender thing I offered to the hurt. But pearls don't come from nothing, they come from what got in, from the grit, the grain, the uninvited thing. Pearls before the drop, I was making something luminous from the beginning. I just didn't know what the making was for. Pearls before the drop, and I'm not giving them away anymore. I have written second drafts of my own story, smooth the linen over what was true. I have been almost healed in fire, season burning. I've chosen wrong season, love with both eyes wide. I have been bronze beneath an open summer, dressed up for the woman in the glass. I've quieted the quiet long enough to hear myself, and found out I was worth the listen at last. And somewhere in the middle of all of it, between the ache and the almost and the blaze, I started stringing something without knowing the string of everything I'd lived and grown and made. I'm not finished, God, I'm not even close. There are rooms in me I haven't opened yet, but I know what I am made of now with certainty. I know the worth of everything I've kept. Pearls before the drop, everything I gave before I knew my worth. Oh, pearls before the drop, every tender thing I offered to the hurt. But pearls don't come from nothing, they come from what got in, from the grit, the grain, the uninvited thing. Pearls before the drop, I was making something luminous every woman in a room that got too small for her, to every woman writing second drafts of her own worth. You were making something the whole time you thought you were surviving. Every layer placed in the dark was never lost. You were not falling apart, you were not failing. You were making something patient and precise out of everything that got inside you. And when you hold it up to light, it is going to be the most beautiful thing you have ever made. And it is yours. Every layer, yours. But I know my worth now. Let the record show. Pearls before the drop. Every layer brought me somewhere I can go. Every grain of hurt, every uninvited season, every ache that I survived to understand. Pearls before the drop. I was always making something luminous. I was always more than I was given to believe. Pearls before the drop. I'm holding everything I made, and I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go of me. Made from everything. Made from all of it. Made from everything. Made from all of it. Girls, every layer, mine. Everyone has an opinion about my love life. My mother, my friends, the internet, the group chat. Everyone has a theory about what I should do. And for a long time I let them sing it to me, like I didn't already know the words. My mother said he's not the type that settles. My sister said she had a bad feeling from the start. My closest friend pulled me aside at dinner, said she'd seen this kind of story, knew the part. And everybody meant it out of love, and every warning came from somewhere genuine and real. But loving someone doesn't make you qualified to tell them what to do with what they feel. I heard the worry underneath the counsel. I heard the care inside the unsolicited advice. But I also heard myself go quieter each time they spoke, and quiet cost a different kind of price. I know they love me, I know they mean it well. I know the choir only sings because they care. But there's a point where all that singing becomes noise, and I can't hear my own voice anywhere. Quiet the choir. Everybody got a song about my life. Quiet the choir. Every voice but mine has had the mic tonight. I love you, I hear you, I know you mean it right, but this is my story and I get to write. Quiet the choir. I need 1 minute in the silence, just me and what I know is true. Quiet the choir. I'll find my way, I'll find it, without the whole world singing through. The internet weighs in on everything I post now. Every choice becomes a comment section in my head. I carry conversations I was never part of, wearing other people's worries like a thread. Somewhere in the middle of all the input, I stopped checking in with my own gut. The thing that used to know things without asking got drowned out in the love that wouldn't shut. I don't say this with resentment, not entirely. I say this as a woman who got lost inside the sound of people who loved her so loudly and so constantly that her own voice couldn't find its way around. And I know that I invited some of this, asked for opinions, then got buried in the pile. But there's a difference between asking for a compass and being told which way to walk for miles. Quiet the choir. Everybody got a song about my life. Quiet the choir. Every voice but mine has had the mic tonight. I love you, I hear you, I know you a minute in the silence. Just me and what I know is true. Quiet, quiet, I'll find my way, I'll find it, without the whole world singing through. Here is what I know when nobody is talking. I know what this feels like when it's right. I know the difference between fear and instinct. I know the things that keep me up at night. And none of those things are what the choir is singing. None of those things live in the group chat thread. They live in me and somewhere beneath language, in the part of me that's never been misled. So I'm not leaving the people who love me. I'm not turning off the voices that care. I'm just asking for the volume for a moment, so I can hear what's already there. What's already there? What's already there? Hey, no. What's already there? What's already there? It's mine. It's always been mine. I just need to hear it. It's mine. Now I'm the one with something left to say. Quiet, the choir. I've been listening long enough today. Quiet, the choir. I love you, I hear you, I honor every right, but I'm taking back the pen and I'm finishing the night. I found the minute in the silence. I found what I already knew. Quiet, the choir. I found my way, I found it. Now the only voice I need is you. Is you. Is you. Just quiet, just quiet. I hear myself now. I hear myself now. I hear myself now. All that singing, all that love. Thank you for the love. All that love. But I hear myself now. I hear myself. Finally, just me. Quiet, the choir. Quiet. The first draft said everything. The second draft said everything better. The third draft I almost sent. I still have all of them. I wrote the sorry that I actually meant, not the one shaped for how it would be received, not the careful cushioned covered all my exits version, but the one that said exactly what I believed. I said I know what I did and I name it. I said I know why and I'm not proud of the why. I said the thing beneath the thing that caused it, the part I've never said out loud in real life. And then I read it back and felt too open, too unguarded, too much all at once. So I wrote a second draft, a little softer, edited the places that stung too much. And the second draft was better written, but it was a smaller, safer, tidier thing. And somewhere between the first and second version, I lost the part that actually needed saying. Second draft apology, where the truth got dressed up and made presentable. Second draft apology, where I said sorry in a way I could defend. All the edges rounded, all the blame distributed, all the sharp and honest parts diminished. Second draft apology, the version that protects me while pretending that it's for you in the end. There's an art to the apology that covers you, that reads as vulnerable but keeps the upper hand, that admits enough to seem like someone who is grown, but not so much that you lose ground to stand. I've gotten good at finding where that line is, the balance between honest and exposed. I've written so many second drafts, I wonder whether the real one ever actually gets composed. Because the first draft always costs you something, it asks you to be witnessed in the worst of what you did. And the second draft lets you keep your self-image at the price of what the other person deserved instead. And I keep telling myself the second draft is kinder, that it's fair, and from the messiness of me. But I think I keep writing second drafts because I'm scared of what the real one would set free. Second draft apology, where the truth got dressed up and made presentable. Second draft apology, where I said sorry in a way I could defend. All the edges rounded, all the blame distributed, all the sharp and honest parts diminished. Second draft apology, the version that protects me while pretending that it's for you in the end. What does the first draft say? The one I keep revising into something smaller. It says I was afraid and I acted from the fear. It says I knew I was hurting you and chose the easier path anyway. It says I prioritized my own comfort over your deserving, and I have been performing accountability without actually giving it. That's what it says. That's what it says. The first draft. And maybe that's the one I need to send. Not the polished, processed, second-guessed version. Not the sorry that protects me while it reaches out, but the one that's just the truth, without a draft number on it. I'm still sitting with it. I haven't sent it yet, but I think about it every single day. Second draft apology, still sitting in the folder where I saved it. Second draft apology, still protecting me from what the first one said. All the edges rounded, all the risk avoided, all the real admissions still in hiding. Second draft apology. Maybe one day I'll be brave enough to send the first one instead. Draft 1, draft 2, draft 1. The cursor blinking, the name in the address line, the unsent. Charge before you even speak. Something in the room shifts when you're close, like the air before a storm finds the street. I keep my hands still, keep my voice level, keep pretending that I'm not leaning in, but the space between us is getting thinner, and I'm not sure I want the distance to win. Everything about you looks like softness, everything about you feels like danger, and I can't decide which one I'm chasing, or if they're the same thing wearing different faces. Silk and static, push and pull, I reach for you when the room goes full. Something smooth, something sharp, you're the calm and the crash inside my heart. Silk and static, soft and live wire, every touch of low and burning fire. I don't know if I should hold on or let go, but silk and static is all I know. You say my name like you invented it, like the syllables belong inside your mouth. I try to find something to be resistant, but resistance always loses to your route. You're tender when I'm tired, sharp when I need waking. You read the room like you wrote every line, and I don't know if that's love or just precision, but either way it's got me every time. I keep telling myself this is easy, keep pretending that I've got the power, but every time you look at me like that, I lose the whole argument in under an hour. Silk and static, reach for you when the room goes full. Something smooth, something sharp. You're the calm and the crash inside my heart. Silk and static, soft and live wire. Every touch of love and burning fire. I don't know if I should hold on or let go, but silk and static is all I know. Maybe contradiction is its own kind of language. Maybe tension is just intimacy unnamed. Maybe every time we almost say it, we say it louder in the things that stay. I've been comfortable in easy empty spaces. I've been choosing safe and smooth and still, but you came in like signal through the silence. Now quiet feels like something I can't feel. Static, I don't want the smooth without the short. I don't want the calm without the charge. Static, 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 static. Silk and static, push and pull. I reach for you when the room goes full. Something smooth, something sharp. You're the calm and the crash inside my heart. Silk and static, soft and live wire. Every touch of love and burning fire. I don't need to know if I should hold on or let go, 'cause silk and static feels like home. Soft and sure, soft and charged. You're the calm and the crash. Silk and static. I wouldn't have it any other way. Any other way. I've been told I look like I don't need much, like I've got it handled, like I'm fine. I'm working on telling the truth about that. I walk into rooms like I own the whole corner, like nothing gets through and nothing gets in, and people believe it, it's a good performance. I've been rehearsing since I was 10. Learned early that soft was something they used against you. The crying was a currency that spent too fast. So I built myself a posture and a voice to match it, and tuck the tender parts somewhere in the back. I'll hold the room, I'll hold the plan, I'll hold the people. I'll hold my tongue when holding is the smarter play. I got real good at being the one who handles things, and real bad at letting someone handle me. But lately in the quiet, after everyone's gone home, I sit with all the softness I've been leaving on my own. And I think maybe I've been so busy being strong, I forgot that being held is not the same as being wrong. I'm softer than I look, don't let the steady fool you. There are rivers running under all this ground. I'm softer than I look, and I'm not ashamed to tell you I just needed someone safe enough to let it down. All this composure has a cost I've been paying. All this quiet has a weight I've been carrying. I'm softer than I look, and if you've got the patience, that's the most honest thing I've said out loud. There are things that move me that I never showed a face for. Songs that took me under when I was alone. Conversations in my head with people I've been missing, that I never had the nerve to turn to phone. I cry at films about strangers finding each other. Ugly cry, the kind I never let you see. And then I fix my face before I leave the theater, because the woman walking out has got to be the one who's got it covered, got it measured, got it mapped, who only needs a moment and she's back on track. But the moment's getting longer and the map's got blank spots, and I think I'm ready to admit that the armor wasn't always armor. Once it was just learning how to make it through. But I'm not in that hallway anymore, and I've been wearing it for longer than I needed to. I'm softer than I look, don't let the steady fool you. There are rivers running under all this ground. I'm softer than I look, and I'm not ashamed to tell you I just needed someone safe patience. That's the most honest thing I've said out loud. I don't wanna be unreadable forever. Don't wanna be the strong one ever. I want someone to notice when the smile is working overtime, and notice it with me a little longer than they usually do. I wanna say I'm tired without it being weakness. Wanna fall apart without it being a crisis. Want someone to hold a thing I can't say out loud, and not need it explained before they find it. I wanna be known, not the version I present when I walk in on. The one that lives quiet underneath, the one that's been waiting for permission. So I'm giving it, I'm giving myself permission right now, out loud. Softer than I look and finally okay with that. I'm softer than I look, and I don't need to hide it. There are rivers running free beneath this ground. I'm softer than I look, and I'm proud enough to say it. I found someone safe enough. Someone is me now. All the composure had a cost I was paying. All that quiet had a weight I was carrying. I'm softer than I look, and I've got all the patience I needed to say it. I finally said it out loud. Softer than I look, softer than I look. Rivers running under all this ground. I'm not what I show, I'm more than you know. Softer, softer. Finally out loud, finally out loud, finally out loud. Memory has a door policy. Did you know that only certain things get in? And I've been working the rope for a long time now. I remember the restaurant, but not the argument. I remember the coat you wore, but not the cold. I remember laughing in the car on that long highway, and somehow the ending never makes it to the scroll. I've kept the Sunday mornings, kept the inside language, kept the way you looked when something caught you off guard, kept the trip we took that one September golden, and quietly retired the rest, the parts that left a scar. It's a careful kind of archive, what I'm keeping, a curated version of what we were. I let the good ones pass the rope and hold them close, and turn the difficult ones away at the door. And I know it isn't honest, no it isn't whole. I know I'm writing something softer than the truth, but the truth would mean dismantling what I built of us, and I'm not ready yet to lose the version that I choose. Velvet rope memory, only letting in the beautiful. The rest can wait outside the dark with me. Velvet rope memory, I know I'm being sentimental, keeping just the parts of you worth keeping. The warm ones, the soft ones, the ones that still feel true. Velvet rope memory is the only you I'm able to get through. Sometimes a real one tries to get back in, a night that ended wrong, a word said sideways, and I feel it at the velvet, feel it pressing, and I look away until the feeling dissipates. I know that's not the healthiest of habits, no, the whole thing's more complicated than I hold. But complicated doesn't get you through a Tuesday, when you just need something warm to make it home. There are people who remember everything exactly, who carry every detail like a ledger that they keep, and I admire them, honestly I do. But I I've chosen beauty over accuracy in sleep. And maybe that's avoidance, maybe that's a mercy. Maybe there's a version where both things are true. Maybe I'm just human in the way that all of us are human, keeping what we need to keep to make it through. Velvet rope memory, only letting in the beautiful. The rest can wait outside the dark with me. Velvet rope memory, I know I'm being sentimental, keeping just the parts of you worth keeping. The warm ones, the soft ones, the ones that still feel true. Velvet rope memory is the only you I'm able to get through. But there are nights the rope comes down completely, and every memory walks in uninvited. The ugly ones, the ones I don't discuss, the ones I built the whole system to keep quiet. And I sit with all of it, the real and edited, the you that I have kept in you as you were. And I understand something in those unguarded hours, that the love I built on fragments was still love. It wasn't less because I chose which parts to carry. It wasn't false because the edges had been smoothed. I love something real, even if the archive's partial, and partial love is still a thing that moves. So I'll keep the rope, I'll keep the door, I'll keep the Sunday mornings in the September light. And I'll let the harder things wait in the cold a little longer, because I'm not finished with the beautiful tonight. Velvet rope memory, I know it isn't all you I know, but the beautiful is real, it happened, it was ours. Velvet rope memory, not a lie, just a kindness, keeping just the parts that help me function. The warm ones, the soft ones, the ones that lit the dark. Velvet rope memory is the only way I know to love someone I've had to take apart. Let the good ones in, let the good ones in. Hold them at the rope, hold them close. Velvet rope, velvet rope. Just the warm ones, just the ones that glow. September light, the coat you wore, the laugh in the car. That's enough, that's enough to keep. That's enough to keep. Everything that's ever grown grew at the wrong time for something else. I keep telling myself that, like it helps. You showed up in the middle of a chapter that I thought I had already closed the door on. Still putting back the pieces from the last one, still getting used to rooms that only hold one. And here you are, exactly not the timing. Here you are, in all the wrong conditions, like a flower somebody planted in December that still has the nerve to push up through the ground. I know the calendar, I know the situation, I know that even beautiful things can complicate. But knowing all the reasons not to want this has never once been enough to make it wait. And I wish that I could logic my way out of it, pull the feeling up by the root and set it down somewhere sensible. But the heart doesn't read the clock, and this one doesn't care that I'm not ready, not even a little bit. Wrong season, right feeling, wrong time to be kneeling at this door. Wrong season, right feeling, every reason says to leave, and I want more. I know the ground is frozen, know the forecast says to wait, know that everything around me says this isn't the right place. But wrong season, people said be careful, said take your time, said you just got your footing back, don't rush. And I heard them, I genuinely heard them. And then I saw your face and lost the thread of it. Because there's a version of careful that is wisdom, and a version of careful that is just afraid. And I spent enough time being afraid of something good that I'm starting to tell the difference between the two. You didn't ask for complicated, neither did I. We both showed up here empty-handed out of season. And maybe that's exactly why it feels like something, the kind of thing that doesn't need a reason. And I know timing isn't everything, but I know how it feels when something real arrives. And this arrived the way that real things do, quietly sideways, while I was looking somewhere else. Completely undeniable. Wrong season, right feeling, wrong time to be kneeling at this door. Wrong season, right feeling, every reason says to leave, and I want more. I know the ground is frozen, know the forecast says to wait, know that everything around me says this isn't the right place. But wrong season, right feeling, and I never learned to argue with my heart. Wrong season, right feeling, falling anyway from the start. Maybe there is no right season for the real ones. Maybe the timing is always inconvenient. Maybe every love that ever mattered arrived before the person was completely ready.